Speak Daily English. Real English every day.
All right, let's talk about something I know so many of you deal with. It's that moment, that awful, paralyzing moment when you need to speak English, but your brain just stops. It completely freezes. Well, today we're going to get to the bottom of why that happens, and more importantly, I'm going to give you 5 solid tools to break right through it. So, does this feel familiar? I'm willing to bet it does. You're into conversation, you're all set to say something in English, and then, poof, everything just shuts down. Sound about right? And it's a totally physical thing, isn't it? Your heart just starts racing, your mind, which was buzzing with ideas a second ago, goes completely, utterly blank. You might squeeze out one sentence, and then nothing, just silence. You know the words are in there, you can feel them, but they just won't come out. If you're sitting there nodding, don't worry, you're definitely not alone. Okay, and here is the absolute key to all of this. This is not a language problem. I'll say it again. It's not about how good your English is. You know the words, you studied the grammar. No, this is a confidence problem. It's a mental block, and the good news is we can absolutely get past it. So where does this fear actually come from? Well, it really boils down to 3 main things. A huge chunk, like 40%, is just plain old perfectionism. You know, that need to get every single word right. Then there's another 40% that's all about the fear of being judged. That feeling that everyone's just waiting for you to mess up. And the final 20%? It's simply a lack of practice. It's like wanting to be a great swimmer, but being too scared to even get in the pool. And let's really dig into that fear of being judged for a second. In our own heads, it's a horror movie, right? We think the other person is a super critic, just ticking off every little mistake, every pause, every single But the reality? It's so much simpler. What they actually hear is your message. They're just trying to understand what you're sharing. Honestly, they want the conversation to go well just as much as you do. You know, there's a saying that understanding the problem is half the solution. And it's so true here. Just by getting that this is about fear and perfectionism, not about your actual English skill, you've already made a massive leap. It's the first real step to taking back control. Okay, so we get the why. Now let's get into the good stuff, the how. Our first tool is foundational. It's the bedrock, because it deals directly with that physical panic response. We're going to master your breath to master your mind. See, when we get nervous, our breathing gets all short and shallow. That's what starves your brain of oxygen and literally causes that mind blank feeling. But we can fight back with a super simple technique. It's a 4-4-6 breath. You just inhale through your nose for a count of 4, hold it for 4, and then a long, slow exhale through your mouth for 6. Seriously, just do this 2 or 3 times before you have to speak. It sends a signal to your nervous system that says, hey, we're cool, we're safe, we're in control. Okay, so you've done your breathing, you're feeling calmer, but then someone hits you with a question and bam, your mind still goes blank. What do? The trick isn't to force an answer. The trick is to learn how to buy yourself some thinking time, and to do it with confidence.
Think of these phrases as your secret weapon. They're your conversational lifelines. Things like, that's a really good question, or, let me think about that for a second, or even a simple, how can I put this? These aren't just filler words. They are powerful tools. They show you're listening, and they give your brain those crucial few seconds to get its act together. And trust me, native speakers use these constantly.
And this is a huge mindset shift. Please remember this. A thoughtful pause is a sign of intelligence. It's not a weakness. The point of a conversation isn't to win a race and reply instantly. The goal is to connect, to understand, and to reply thoughtfully. Giving yourself that moment always leads to a better answer. All right, so you're calm, you've bought some time, but what happens when the problem isn't what you're saying, but what they're saying? You know, when you're just nodding and smiling, hoping nobody asks you a direct question. We've all been there. This next tool is all about mastering the flow and keeping that conversation going.
These 4 strategies right here are pure gold. Instead of just freezing up, you can take control. You can ask for clarification, something like, could you explain that part about? Or you can paraphrase to make sure you're on the same page. So if I'm hearing you right, You can even build a bridge to something you do know. That's really interesting. It reminds me of, and maybe the best one of all, just ask follow-up questions. People love talking about their own experiences, and it keeps the ball rolling while taking all the pressure off of you.
Okay, let's switch gears to practice. How do you actually build that natural, easy flow of English when you're just by yourself? Well, I've got a fantastic and maybe a little weird technique for you. It's called the shadowing method.
The idea here is super simple. First, you just pick a short audio or video clip. We're talking 30 to 60 seconds. Could be from a movie, a podcast, whatever. Next, listen to it a couple of times just to get a feel for it. And then, here's the magic part, you play it again, but this time you talk along with it, repeating what you hear almost immediately. You're trying to be their echo, their shadow, matching their speed and their rhythm.
Now, the key to shadowing isn't about perfectly understanding every single word. Forget the words for a minute. The real goal is to get the music of the language. The rhythm, the ups and downs, the stress on certain words, that's the melody of English. This builds incredible muscle memory for your mouth and tongue, and it helps you internalize what natural English actually sounds like. Okay, we've arrived at our final tool, and honestly, this might be the most important one of all. Because all these other techniques are fantastic, but they don't mean much if you don't build a real consistent habit. And we're going to make that easy with the 30-second daily challenge. And just look at how simple this is. We're not talking about hours of homework. We're talking about 30 seconds. That's it. 30 seconds a day of just speaking. You start super easy in week 1, just describing yourself. Then you move on to talking about your day. By the end of the month, you're just riffing on any topic you want. It's all about building that momentum without it ever feeling like a huge, scary task. Now, for this challenge to really work, there are a few golden rules. First, record yourself, but don't worry, it's for your ears only. Second, and this is the big one, you cannot stop. Even if you make a mistake, even if you pause, you have to push through for the whole 30 seconds. And linked to that, only one take, no re-recording. Why? Because the goal here is fluency, not accuracy. We're training your brain to just keep going no matter what.
So, there you have it. You get the problem now, and you have a whole toolkit to solve it. This isn't just theory anymore. Your mission, really, starts right now, as soon as this is over.
Let's just do a super quick recap of your new confidence toolkit. Number 1, breathe to calm your mind. 2, use those key phrases to buy yourself thinking time. 3, maintain the flow of the conversation. 4, shadow to find that natural rhythm. And 5, build that daily speaking habit to make it all second nature. And I really want you to leave with this thought. Real confidence, it has nothing to do with being perfect. It's actually the total opposite. It's the quiet knowledge that even if you stumble, even if your mind goes blank, you now have the tools to handle it. You know you can keep going. So I'll leave you with one final question to get you started. What are you going to talk about in your first 30-second challenge? Don't just ponder it. Decide right now. What will you say?